Hello everyone, it's Colby, and I'm once again joined by my buddy Philip.
Hi.
That's Philip, and today we are going to go over the Druid Subclasses. We have gone over every single other class so far, except Sorcerer, but that video should be coming out a week after this one. If you haven't seen the other subclass videos, make sure to, I pointed to the wrong corner again, make sure to click the little card up in the top right to check out those videos. Do it after you watch this video, of course. Like and subscribe, and let's get into a few disclaimers, I guess, about these rankings. So this is all very subjective. Philip and I have to agree on them as well. So this is kind of the official Excited Cave subclass ranking, but it's really just kind of based on which subclass we would want to play the most and we'd have the most fun with. So it's not based off damage being overpowered or roleplay or ability checks. It's just very subjective in how we feel about all of those different things. So maybe we'll make a different video on that, kind of rank like how they are strength wise. That would probably be fairly complicated, but I don't know. Well, maybe we'll make that video sometime. Let's get into the first druids. Well, let's start it off with the Dream subclass. This one, did it come out in the player's handbook? Because I don't think it has a spell list, right?
Oh man, I don't know what's in the player's handbook. 1 second.
Fair enough. It doesn't have a spell list, which honestly brings it down a notch already. But to be honest, I put this one as a D. I'm not a big fan of it. Where did you put it?
I had it in C.
Okay, not as low as I had it.
It was not in the player's handbook.
Okay, so it did come later on.
Land and Moon are the only players.
Really? Moon was... I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I don't know. This is a subclass that some of the abilities are pretty cool. Like Walker in Dreams at 14th level, I really like. But it's at 14th level, so it's too late. You know what I mean? I love that when you use teleportation circle, which you get to use without using a spell slot. And instead of going to another teleportation circle, it just takes you where you last long rested. The utility of that, oh my goodness, so good. But you get it so late.
Yeah, and like 14th level, depending on the campaign, like how I feel with like travel for level 14 group, unless they're traveling through like a really dangerous area, there's not really things that are going to challenge them too much if they're just traveling on the road. So it really depends.
Something that a friend of mine's group does is you can't long rest unless you're in a safe place, like a town.
Oh, okay.
So you can still short rest, but it makes it so that encounters, the DM doesn't really have to like throw really hard monsters at the party because they'll just long rest after, because they won't. You can throw a band of goblins at level 5 characters and it's actually scary. So you know, that really just depends on your game, because in a game like that, this ability would be godly.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And super useful. But in like our normal games, we long rest all the time. Like, you get 1, maybe 2 or 3 fights before a long rest, unless you're in a dungeon, obviously. So, you know, not being able to long rest, not the end of the world.
No, it's not. And
I do like the wording of this class, like Bomb of the Summer Court. Just sounds cool. Hearth of Moonlight and Shadow sounds cool. Very cool ability. You get the long or short rest, and you basically get Liamon's tiny hut, but it's invisible. It's cool.
It's cool. I don't think it's
cool.
I don't think it's very useful.
Yeah, it's cool. The utility of it could be there depending on the campaign. In the right campaign, this is an A tier. But it's hard to find that campaign.
Yeah, that's true. It really depends how your DM is playing, like overland and travel, because this is obviously made for that kind of thing. But hidden paths is great, like as a bonus action, just being able to teleport, and
Yeah, or
also
teleport
being,
a friend.
yeah, it's like vortex warp, a little bit
Yeah.
nerfed a little bit, and you can just do it innately, equal to your wisdom modifier. That's probably the best, like my favorite ability out of it. A lot of the other ones are really situational, except Bomb of the Summer Court. And
Yeah. Well, like they're all useful abilities. The problem is that they're very meh useful. Like Hidden Path is great because you can teleport for free, but at 10th level, I mean, what are you using your second level spell slots on other than Misty Step and Vortex Warp?
yeah, that's true. So
You know what I mean? Like it's sweet, but at that high of level, you're getting higher level spell slots, so you can use your lower level on stuff like teleportation. So it's a very meh class to me. You know what I mean? It's still not awful. Like it could be really good. You know, like I would never want to play a Beastmaster, even if it is the right campaign. But this, I could see myself wanting to play it if it's like a survival game.
yeah, and I think when I put it down in D, it's definitely not like on the same level as these ones in D. I think actually, Druid has like a decently
Oh,
well-made
Druid is all around.
subclasses.
Druid is just a solid class for the subclasses.
It's just the last one that I would want to play.
Yeah, for me, it's not.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't really care if you put it in C or D. Do you have one in D? Because I feel like we have our C and D possibly switched around.
Honestly, with these Druid ones, I'd be fine with none of them going into D.
Yeah, fair enough. I think that's, just respect to the Druid subclasses
Yeah,
in
because
general.
they're just overall all at least okay. Like, I wouldn't be sad playing any of these.
Yeah, fair enough. And Druid's a pretty solid class by itself. It kind of its own,
Yeah.
I feel. I'm not a big fan of playing a Druid, but I could recognize that has
Yeah,
a lot of
there's a
potential.
reason. There's a reason most parties have a Druid in the party.
Very helpful. Okay, so we'll put Dreams at C and move on to the next one.
Land is C.
Yeah, I put land in. Oh, I put land in C. Yeah, land C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just such a whatever.
Yeah.
But like depending on which area you're from, you get different spell lists.
So
Some of them are better than others, but none of them are bad.
I like Underdark the most, I think. Just looking at the spells. Which one is your favorite?
Holy Coast.
Oh yeah, water themed.
I really like Conjure Elemental. Then Misty Step. Control Water is just fun.
Yeah, makes sense. And then like Natural Recovery, I actually really like it. Just being able to, redeem some expended spell slots or recover some. It's good.
It makes it like the Wizard's ability.
Yeah, it does make it like a Wizard Druid. Landstride is fine. Nature Ward is fine. I mean, it sucks that it's elementals or fae.
Yeah, like Landstride and Nature's Ward are why this is C for me and not higher. Because, I get to move through non-magical difficult terrain like normal. Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
Like, how often does it come? It doesn't come up that much unless your DM is like focused on that kind of thing, because you just don't think about that a lot of the time as a DM of making just difficult terrain as just a thing in the world, just because it's a hassle to deal with.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
It is useful when it comes up, but I just don't see it coming up that much.
Yeah, well,
so it makes it so that you don't get anything until 10th level. But then 10th level, you can't be charmed or frightened by elementals or fae. Okay, nice. Immune to poison and disease, useful. Paladins are just get that. like a paladin Yuan-Ti, you already have that. So you know, it's useful and it makes sense for the class and the subclass, but it's not exciting.
Yeah, well, just think about like how often lands you and I have been playing a long campaign with a Circle of the Land Druid, and it might have come up once. I know it's come up once. I don't know if it's come up twice for Landstride, like being resistant to like the difficult terrain. But so like yeah,
Well, and the one time it came up, it's because she made it difficult terrain.
yeah, which is very helpful for sure. You can make more out of it by doing things like that, but yeah, overall very situational. And Nature's Sanctuary, I think, is cool until they save it, and then it's useless. But I guess that's the balancing of it, where, you know, anyone that attacks you... no, actually,
No.
sorry, I forgot. This thing is terrible. It says when a
It's
beast
only
or
beasts
plant...
and plants.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot that it was only beast or plant. This is such a waste of a 14th level thing. Like,
Yeah.
first off, you're a druid.
So is the 10th level, and so is the 6th level. But getting spell slots back, very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
All the spell lists are good. That's the only reason why this is C and not D for me, is that Natural Recovery and the Circle spells are good. Because Landstride, Nature's Word, Nature's Sanctuary are all whatever.
Yeah. So let's put
Nice
land.
to have, but whatever.
Let's throw land in D and move on to the most overpowered subclass. Okay, moving into one of the two ones that came from the player's handbook, and you know, land was just kind of C, it was kind of meh, but moon is absolutely overpowered. I actually just did a video about overpowered subclasses, and I made sure to leave this one to the end because everyone knows that moon is one of the most overpowered subclasses in the game. So I had it in a reluctant... No, I actually had it in A. I thought I was going to have a reluctant S, but I definitely put it in A.
I had it in A because I want to play one again, but I need to do it in the right game, because last time I played one, I broke the game.
Well, I think
So,
also
I need to
just...
find, like, I want to play one again because it was fun to play, but you know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, so just for reference,
Ridiculous.
if anyone doesn't know what the moon can do, essentially it's all focused around the wild shape ability of the druid. You get combat wild shape at 2nd level, so you can wild shape as a bonus action, which means the druid, you can cast a spell and then you can wild shape. And you take on those hit points, you take on their stats and everything, and it's a huge health pool. You don't take any damage in your normal form while you take damage in your wild shape form.
Also, when you're wild shaped, because of combat wild shape, you can expend spell slots to regain hit points while you're wild shape.
Mm-hmm.
And it's same hit points as cure wounds.
Yeah, and your wild shape is also... You can eventually do a higher challenge rating. Actually, no, at the beginning, circle forms. Yeah. From the beginning, you can do higher challenge rating beasts than normal, just making it, you know, that much more overpowered. I wouldn't say, like, the idea of it makes a lot of sense to focus on a wild shape, but, you know, the challenge ratings that you can turn into are a little bit OP, just how much health you can have. The later, you know, abilities, like Primal Strike makes a lot of sense. You get resistance. Your attacks in beast form are considered magical for overcoming resistance. That just kind of makes sense for scaling. You get to turn into elementals, which is cool. And 1,000 forms, you get to cast Alter Self at will. But really, the base of this subclass is so strong, it wouldn't even matter what the later ones are.
No. Elemental wild shape is super strong.
Oh yeah, it is.
Elemental, earth elemental, fire elemental, water elemental are all stronger than most beasts. And at 14th level, Alter Self is ridiculously strong.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. Like, but the base idea of this class is so solid, and just everything, you know, the later levels just add on to it and make it even more overpowered. But honestly, even if the later ones were bad, this one would still be a really good subclass.
Yeah, it's just as a druid too, like when I played a Circle Moon druid, because it's all about like becoming animals, I really leaned into that with stuff like polymorph. And when you add that on top of this, it gets ridiculous. Because even if you run out of wild shapes, you then have spell slots to use polymorph. Polymorph
Mm-hmm.
can also become beasts that are the same as your level.
Yeah, you know, that maxes out at a certain challenge rating because there's not a lot of beasts, but
It
still.
maxes out at 8.
Yeah, which is a T-Rex, right? That's the best one at
Yeah.
8?
Yeah, and then a giant ape is 7. You know, like at level 7, you can become a giant ape. Giant apes are so strong. You can just throw boulders at people.
I know, they hurt a lot. So, Moon is like an easy A for us. Let's chuck it up there. You have any last words about Moon?
I want to play one again in a dungeon crawl.
Yeah, that's fair. Or just like something like
be the frontliner. Because I never play the frontliner. I just don't.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's just not me.
Yeah.
But I want to sometimes, and this would be a fun one to play for it. Yeah. It is the best frontliner because you just have so many hit points.
So what a solid subclass. Let's move on. So as a druid, let me restart that. Okay. So as a druid, there's always that fantasy of commanding animals, having tons of them on your side, and the Shepherd subclass is all about kind of using animals, summoning them, summoning beasts, and it's all kind of tailored around that. So what did you think of Shepherd, Philip?
S.
Okay, so I put it as an A. I didn't think it was S tier, but...
You know when we play Terraria and every single time I'm a summoner? And whenever we play anything, I always play summoner if it's available. Play Divinity, I was playing a summoner.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
I just like playing summoners, and Shepherd is the best summoner in the game for D&D.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Like, Spirit Totem is pretty cool. Lots of options there. I don't think that's too overpowered though. Like Mighty Summoner and Faithful Summons are what I really like about this subclass rather than the Spirit Totems.
Honestly, Spirit Totem is my favorite part of the class.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, like Faithful Summons is cool and it can be useful, but if we're honest, like after 14th level, if you're going down, are 4 challenge rating 2 beasts really gonna do anything?
No, and I knew that would come up. I just love the theme of it. That's just...
Oh, I do too.
Yeah.
And I love the theme of it too. It's just, I really like Spirit Totem. It's my favorite ability, and you get it right away. And I just love the idea of like a bear spirit that gives all of my friends hit points and advantage with strength. You know, that's cool. Hawk Spirit giving my friends advantage on attack. That's cool, because like in my head I'm picturing like a big bear that comes over and like everyone's like, hey, it's the bear. You know,
I
like
guess he could roleplay that pretty well too.
Yeah. Like imagine playing 3 levels of Totem Barbarian and the rest into Shepherd Druid.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
That would be so cool just for the theme of it.
Yeah.
It'd be so cool because then you're like a bear barbarian and you have a bear spirit walking with you, bolstering your allies while you take all the hits. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Spirit Totem, for the roleplay alone, put this into S for me because I just love Spirit Totem. Speech of the Woods, cool. You know, just cool. Like you could just hang out, talk with animals, just act
Yeah.
like NPCs with you.
That's
Can
just
be
fine.
useful. Yeah, yeah, it can be useful. If someone in your party had that, it would come up all the time because you're outside. You know, and
Yeah.
once you start doing it all the time, the DM's gonna make things around it. Mighty Summoner, super useful. Honestly, not even really needed because contra animals and that kind of thing already super strong.
Yeah. It is. It does
When you
make
play,
sense though that they're buffing
oh,
your.
100%. But when you play a summoner in D&D 5e, you immediately change the dynamic of the fight because it totally messes with the action economy when you suddenly double your party size.
Yeah, makes sense, and that's one of the strategies I also have learned to use on like a moon druid, being so powerful. The power of
Oh yeah,
action economy in D&D is huge. Just having multiple people being able to use more actions in a turn. So
yeah, yeah. To
yeah.
beat a moon druid, you have to either overwhelm it with numbers or take it out of the fight with charming illusion, that kind of thing, putting it to sleep.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's how you beat someone with a lot of hit points.
Yeah.
Is overwhelming them, or shoot them from far away.
So I don't think I feel as strong as about Shepherd. I'd rather put it as an A, but if you insist at it being an S, like it's your favorite subclass, we can put it as an S.
Yeah, it's 100% my favorite subclass.
Okay.
I love the summoner aesthetic in games for spellcasters, and it does it without overdoing it, which isn't easy.
It's definitely a powerful one, and I think it,
Yeah.
It does its theme properly. Effective. Love the idea of it. It's the 14th level, is a little bit disappointing mechanically, but still very thematically cool. So on the side of nature, there is life and there is also decaying and decomposing. I guess those mean the same thing, but either way, makes logical sense that there is a circle of spores based around kind of spore-like mushroom things. For me, I put this as an S. How do you feel about it, Philip? Not an S, an A. I put it as an A.
I had an A. I think
Yeah.
it's neat. I think it's like the only viable one to actually go in melee.
Yeah, it's a tank
without using your wild shape to like become something.
It's a cool use of wild shape, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, and I like.
Oh, sorry. I had this in the. I
Okay.
agree with everything you're saying. I just don't like mushroom.
Okay, I can understand the roleplay aspect of it. But let's go into a little bit of the mechanics first then. Like with Halo of Spores, this one was actually fairly disappointing reading without any of the other mechanics, but a lot of the other mechanics build off it quite nicely, and this is really like the bottom of the totem pole, and it like builds the foundation of the house, of which is Circle of Spores. Like you can use a reaction to deal 1d4 necrotic damage. Honestly, I'm not sure if I would use my reaction for that. Like, there might be a spell. You would?
Druids don't get many reaction stuff.
I guess, yeah. Like, but if you are a Spores, wouldn't you rather just hit? Like, I guess this is... No, it's not guaranteed.
No, because it's reaction. So it's not on your turn.
Yeah, well, you can... yeah, I guess...
Not an action. Like, someone comes over to you, so you hurt them right away.
Yeah, no, I was thinking
someone
for, like,
starts their turn next to you, and you haven't used it yet. Use it.
Yeah.
Like it's just passive damage, and honestly, I don't use my reaction ever unless someone's running away from me or I have like a spell like Hellish Rebuke. Like I rarely use my reaction, so this gives you something to use it for. It doesn't cost anything other than your reaction. That's great.
Yeah,
and
okay.
Like you can hold on to it, and someone starts their turn there. Like, say there's an enemy that goes right before you, and you haven't used reaction yet, and they're beside you. Use it then.
It is nice that it's 10 feet as well. It's got a decent range to it. You can like throw your spores a little bit away from you. But yeah, this ability, a little bit more than I thought, a little bit better than I thought. You definitely convinced me there. Symbiotic Entity I really like though. Like this is just great overall. Being able to gain 4 temporary hit points for each level is a decent amount for sure. It's definitely nothing to scoff at,
Yeah,
especially
upwards of 80.
yeah, and especially considering the other things it adds to it, like your Hail of Spores is now doubled. You roll the damage die a second time, and your melee attacks deal an extra 1d6 necrotic damage. Just nice bit of theming and combat.
Well, the amount of hit points you can get with this is about as much as you get from wild shaping.
Yeah, that's true. And
Like
then
at level 5, you get 20 hit points.
Mhm.
Normally, you'd be turning into like a dire wolf at that point,
Yeah,
which has I think 30. You know,
yeah,
and doing extra weapon damage, and it's necrotic. Not much stuff is resistant to necrotic unless it's undead, obviously.
yeah.
And you can just use your wild shape again and refill your temp hit point.
Yeah,
It's great.
you become quite tanky for sure.
Yeah,
I don't really like fungal infestation very much. I've just found all of the subclasses that try to like make zombies, like zombies are just not very strong in any way. Like it's a quarter challenge rating. I know, but like they make it seem like it's a big deal, but yeah, not a big fan
it's
of
a meat
it.
shield. You know, they get 22 hit points, and when they drop to 0, they roll to see if they even die, so they might not even die. It's something to just soak up damage. Can
Yeah,
be very
that's true.
useful as a companion.
Yeah, it is nice that you can also use this a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier, so you could probably get a decent amount of zombies out, depending if like you're fighting a group, of course.
Yeah, you can probably get 4 of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And like spreading spores is a nice bit of like battlefield control, being able to put like a 10-foot cube 30 feet away of just like your spores, and that you do your Halo of Spores damage to them. It's not a huge amount of area, but
No, but useful.
it's also a bonus action, so can't really complain there.
Oh yeah, and the fungal infestation making zombies is a reaction. You know, it's everything in this subclass is built around not taking away your actions so that you can keep hitting people with your weapon.
Yep.
With the extra damage.
Yeah.
It's built very, very well. Which is why it's B for me. Because I just don't like mushroom. Mushrooms are icky. I don't like fungus. It's icky.
Yeah, that's fair. And
Everything about this class is cool. I like it. I don't know if I really want to play it just because. Ew.
yeah, see, on the other hand, I absolutely love mushrooms. You know, I like the taste of them, I like the theme of them, I like mushroom the bosses. It is icky, but it's like a weird kind of likeness to them. And like fungal body also, you know, it's at 14th level, but I think it's actually pretty powerful and really helps with like your tankiness. Like critical hits don't damage you. You can't be blinded, deafened, frightened, or poisoned, which is honestly more immunities to effects than most subclasses offer.
Yeah. Well, yeah, those immunities are nice. The critical hit thing is what matters.
Oh yeah, like that's gonna feel really good when the DM rolls a nat 20. You're just like, wait, actually,
I'm full of mushrooms.
yeah, it just makes a squishy sound actually, and it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, you know when you kick a mushroom in a field and it has that nice pop sound?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So you wanted to put this as a B. I really like this one. I would insist it being an A.
Sure.
Because it's probably
I'm fine with that. I just don't like it because it's icky. Like,
yeah.
Ew.
Absolutely.
Ew.
So let's move on from the icky subclass then.
The circle of stars.
That'll be the intro. We're doing stars now. This is one of my favorite subclasses.
Really?
Yeah, I put it as an S. Yeah, I put it as an S. Why, you didn't put it as high as that?
I don't really like it that much.
Really?
Yeah.
What'd you put it as?
I had it in C.
Okay. I mean,
I
that's
just
fine.
I just don't like the like I like space, but for druids I just don't really care about space.
Yeah, and like for this one, I think I'd like the theme less and the mechanics more because it's all about giving options to your bonus action essentially with your starry form.
And you're hot for options.
I love the word versatility.
I know. You say it at least twice a conversation I have with you.
And at least 20 times a video. So count them next time you watch a video.
Only when some classes have it though.
Why would I say it if they don't have it though? I'm not just
I don't
saying
know.
I don't just throw out the word versatile like it's some loose word.
Word too. What a guy.
What do you mean?
You said versatility before. Now you're saying versatile?
It's the same word.
No, it's not.
Versatile.
That's like saying people in person are the same.
So what I love about starry form is the versatility and the versatileness. Archer is great. It gives you a nice bit of range damage. Chalice gives hit points, and Dragon kind of makes you, impervious to like maintaining concentration on a spell. Not actually impervious, but it is helpful. I'd probably choose Archer most of the time, depending on the situation.
Dragon lets you fly later.
Yes, absolutely. Looking at second level, but yeah,
I mean, yeah, I agree with everything you're saying. It's neat. Kind of annoying to me. Like if I'm not using my wild shape for wild shaping, I want it to be something that I really like, and this just doesn't excite me.
Okay.
Because if I'm not becoming a bear, I need a good reason, and this just doesn't give it to me.
Okay, that's definitely a personal outlook on it for sure.
That's why I have it so low. Is just because like, starry form is really whatever. Star map is cool. Guiding bolt, you just get it.
Yeah.
And you can just do it for free a lot of the time.
Oh yeah.
That's sweet.
You can do it a lot. It's super nice.
Yeah, it's equal to your proficiency. That's really useful. But like the thing of the class is more starry form. And I don't know. Chalice is boring. Dragon, kind of neat, but like, when am I ever gonna use it? Archer I would use all the time.
Yeah, that's the go-to.
100% Archer I would use all the time. But that's the problem with something that gives me options, when there's one that I'm always gonna use and the other two that I'm like maybe gonna use once.
Yeah, you have a good point there. I just like Archer enough, and Cosmic Omen as well. I really enjoy being able to, again, just modify other people's rolls as a reaction.
Yeah, again, I agree with you. I don't know.
Yeah, you don't like the theme.
So often when something like this, if you're using it on someone else's turn and not yours, very annoying to use. Because whenever you're trying to use something on someone else's turn, it always ends up like disrupting the whole flow of their turn. Like whether it's useful or not, whether it's like a really hype moment or not, it still does. Like cutting words for a bard.
Yeah.
When you cut in to say it, everyone's always happy that you do, because it's always really useful. But it still like totally kills the flow for the DM most of the time.
Yeah, fair enough.
Get a little annoying.
There's a lot of things like that for sure, and
yeah, and I just, like the ability doesn't really excite me that much. It's useful and I like it. it's just not that exciting. Where I wouldn't really want to play it that much. I still wouldn't mind playing the class, like Dreams and Land. I'd still be down to play it.
Yeah.
It's not one that I'm wanting to play now.
Yeah. So you put it as a B.
No,
Right.
C.
Oh, you put it as a C. Okay, I put it as an A. That makes it easy because we can split the difference in the middle, as they say.
The middle.
Split the middle, yeah. Right down the middle.
Eating the difference.
Eat in the difference. Wildfire. How do you feel about it?
I like Wildfire.
Yeah, I really like Wildfire too. I put it as an S.
Me too.
Nice. Both agree on it.
Mhm.
No more.
It used
no,
to be my favorite one.
no more discussion needed. End the video.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. So what's Wildfire about?
You make Wildfire Spirit. Really cool. Like it's like a. I've always pictured it like a twig blight on fire.
Yeah, makes sense.
Especially since it seeds things. And you also get wildfire spells. It's all fire spells.
Oh, they're good.
Yeah.
Love this list of
Burning Hand,
spells.
Scorching Ray, Fire Shield. I love Fire Shield so much.
Yeah, Flaming Sphere.
Yeah.
It's
And
it's
then-
all great abilities. And
Yeah, and then the Wildfire Spirit is the crux of the subclass, and it's just good. You get a little buddy that can teleport with you, and it does damage. What? So useful.
yep, it can fly. Teleportation is crazy good. And you know, with the companion subclass, it's really easy to do it wrong. They did it right here. Like it scales appropriately.
100%. This is the class that I built my subclass that I made for a beast companion.
Yeah.
This is what I base it off. This and Drake Warden.
Yeah. This is a lot like Drake Warden in that the later levels also enhance and build off your relationship with your companion. Like Enhanced Bond, it's just
I love it.
yeah, it's just more damage, right? Whenever you cast a spell that deals fire damage or restores hit points while your Wildfire Spirit is summoned, if you have incentive on keeping your buddy alive, make sure you name your little Wildfire Spirit. What do you name yours?
Blaze.
Yeah, I'd probably call him Tinder.
Oh.
What, is that PTSD there a little bit?
No.
Cauterizing Flames is cool, and Blazing Revival is mechanically helpful and sounds awesome.
Yeah.
It's just being able to revive yourself in like a phoenix. You know, you do have to sacrifice your Wildfire Spirit, but
Yeah, but you can resummon him. That's fine.
yeah, exactly. And you don't go to 1 health. You regain half your hit points, which is a lot more than any other revival
Very useful.
things. Yeah.
One Enhanced Bond, you didn't mention it, but if you have a spell with a range other than cat self, you can originate it from your Wildfire Spirit, which can teleport and fly. So you can get it right up on someone and use a touch spell. Like, that's awesome. So useful. I love that kind of thing. That's the reason why I like Find Familiars, that you can have it deliver spells.
Yeah. Absolutely. So we're so positive about this one. It's
I just love it. I love the Shepherd Druid. I love it a lot. This is the one I want to play most still.
yeah, it's fair. It's a great companion. It probably rivals the Drake Warden in terms of the best one. I'd have to play it first to kind of see. But
Yeah. This and Drake Warden are certainly the two best companion subclasses in the official content.
Yeah.
And it's these two and no one for a while before you get to third place.
Yep. Makes a lot of sense. They've done companions dirty. Got some gems in there.
Yeah, it's very well made. I like that you can make a druid that's a pyromancer.
Yeah, because wildfires are a part of life. I do appreciate that they, with the druid, there's a decent amount of them, like spores, wildfire, that explore bits of nature that aren't the typical plants and animals.
Yeah.
Imagine any nature
Yeah,
like
and
a
then
druid would be
there's
about.
land for all the typical stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they release, like, you know, spores is a little bit of decaying because it's fungi, but they could go way further with, like, the whole decaying part of it. Or, like, the Oathbreaker version of the Paladin, just go full into that part of nature. And I hope they end up doing that, because that'd be a cool stuff. If they do it right, of course.
Yeah, Druid is one of those classes that I think it's easy to make subclasses for. I myself have made 2. Like it's just a fun class overall, and it just works really well for subclasses because it's a strong base class as is. The high level caster that gets a lot of hit points from wild shape, so it means you could do a lot with it. What they did with it, like all of them work well. If I were to join a game and they gave me a pre-made sheet and it was any of them, I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah, it'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even like Land and Dreams, which you're still a druid, you know, like you're still gonna have a good time, and the abilities are still good enough that you will use them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, the hallmark of a bad class is when you don't use your abilities.
Yeah, fair enough. But in terms of Wildfire, that's definitely an easy S. We'll move on to the outro. Boom, transition. Seamless. Yeah, I don't think I have a transition for that, so maybe I'll just leave that in unedited. We'll see.
Okay.
Anyways.
I was holding a lighter the whole time during Wildfire. My cat has been trying to sniff the flame. Not working.
That sounds
freaking out and running away.
That sounds
No, he's just like he's interested by it. He doesn't get that close. He gets close enough to feel the heat, and then he's like, what?
Moments like these where I wish I still put effort into the clips channel, because this would be a fairly good clip. But moving back to
more because you said it.
Well, I would edit that out. Moving back to the druids, not your wild-shaped cat, wildfire cat that wants to wield fire, apparently.
He looks burnt.
The link to this tier list is in the description. Let us know if we're wrong or if we're right, but just know we are right, or if we're wrong. Right? Right.
Left.
No, not left.
Up.
Well, like and subscribe, of course, and stay tuned for the last subclass video, the Sorcerer. And like I said at the beginning, check out the top right. I still pointed to the top left. I'm just gonna... Okay, I ended up pointing to the top right. Anyways, check out that link if you haven't seen the videos on the other subclasses, and stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching.
Bye.